Bang. What's up? How you guys doing? It's iCkEdMeL. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. Frazzled. Not made for these live streams. 1 second here. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to give you guys a minute to join. Tracy, Sarah, Karen, Crystal, Lisa, Latrice, Patricia, Sunkissed, Flossie. Welcome. I want to make sure that I'm good on Facebook and YouTube because when I set up StreamYard, there was a little glitch thing going on where it double set up a stream and like the browser froze. So let me just make sure we're good. You guys can hear me good. Got an interesting story. I wasn't even going to do a live stream tonight, but people keep asking me like, yo, iCkEdMeL, when are you going to stream? And there's two kind of big things happening tomorrow. A meeting with a private investigator. And I might potentially be interviewing somebody with a recent story. The members know, but we'll keep it at that. Okay. We're good. Perfect. How you guys doing, man? This is kind of a controversial story. I mean, I don't know if I kind of was maybe lightly using it. Let me get my screen up for you guys. Let's see here. Get my notes. I got videos. I got clips. I got notes. I got, let's see here. An interesting interview with the lawyer. There was also this audio that was supposedly a tipster. I don't know if it's a real tip or not. And this story has it's controversial because a lot of people are saying it's something to do with race. I don't know. I'm going the wrong way. Sorry. Something to do with race. Dude, you're a waste of space. You don't care about missing people. All right. So just go watch another stream. They're saying it's race. They're saying it's the way the case was handled. We're going to talk about the Amber Alert. We're going to talk about a lot of different things. And I have a little note of synopsis. So the people that we're going to be kind of talking about a little bit. The main person, Quawan Charles, 15 years old from Louisiana. He went missing October 30th. Then we're going to be talking about, because that day, and I'll get a little bit more detailed, he left with a friend. The mother of Janet picked up Quawan. I guess Quan's parents didn't know. And, well, let me do this first. I'm going to play you guys a little intro clip that I made. Let's get this. I have a folder here. Okay. Let me play this for you guys. Let it warm up a little bit. Let people join in. We're going to get into the autopsy reports, the preliminary, because the full thing is not out yet. And so here we go. Peter froze on me. Let's go. Thanks, Lisa. We're also doing call-ins tonight if you guys want to express your thoughts on this case. Hey, April, Green-Eyed, Stacy, welcome. You got your live stream. Anon, what is up? So let's start with some of the details that we've been told, and then we'll get into some of the video clips and that anonymous caller. And by the way, I haven't heard about $300. Somebody mentioned they had $300 on them. You guys can let me know. So this whole thing started October 30th in Louisiana, in St. Parish. I guess that's what the area is called. Quawan Charles is 15 years old, and the mother reported him missing on the 30th of October after he wasn't answering his cell phone. This is what this is according to their attorney. And so on October 30th, Quawan's mother, which her name is Roxanne, she was supposed to pick him up at the father's house for a haircut at 3 p.m., but he didn't answer his phone. So according to Mr. Haley, when he hadn't responded by 7 p.m., his parents began to worry his father forced down his locked bedroom door. So I guess he thought he was in the room, or maybe he wanted to see what was going on in there, or maybe he was there. He realized he was missing and called the Baldwin Police. So the police assured Quawan's parents that he was probably at a football game with his friends. Mr. Haley said no Amber Alert was issued, and that was a whole big thing. The family feels that they dropped the ball. Police did. Frustrated family took matters into their own hands and learned that Quawan had been picked up by Janet Irvine and her son. This is a little bit of the controversy without his parents' permission. And that's even a whole nother topic about, I don't have a teenager, but the whole thing of when you take another child with you, or a child spending time with you, aren't you kind of almost, you become kind of like responsible for that child if something happens? So he was taken to their home in a neighboring Ibria parish. And I hear it's a trailer home, I believe. That must be correct. Quawan's parents contacted the authorities in the neighboring Ibria parish on November 3rd to involve them in a search. Within hours of being notified that Quawan might be in their jurisdiction, Ibria Parish Sheriff's deputies discovered the body of a teenage boy around 6 p.m. in a muddy field near I don't know if it's how it's pronounced, but I'm going to try. Loreauville, a small rural county not far away from Irvine's home, after they pinged Quawan's cell phone. The whole thing with the ping, too, let me go down to these other notes real quick. According to the family's lawyer, it says, we have information that they didn't ping his cell phone until November 2nd. Why wasn't that done on October 30th? And according to the attorney, I believe both police departments actually failed. I mean, had they followed proper protocols, Quawan would have been here today. So there's more to this. It gets kind of weirder because after they located the body, the parish opened a homicide investigation, interviewing those who were believed to have been with Quawan before his disappearance and searching their home. The office said in a statement on Saturday, a spokesman declined to answer whether that included Mrs. Irvine and her son. We interviewed the same individuals and are currently tracking their whereabouts. Video evidence recorded near the area where his body was found indicates that Quawan, and I think they should release this video evidence, Quawan was alone for some time before and after he was seen on the recording, according to the statement. So let me talk a little bit about, I have multiple references. Well, actually, let me play a clip. Play a couple of clips for you guys. What's up, everybody in the chat? Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Did he have an argument with his peoples? I don't know that he had an argument. There's some interesting details about the people that he went to visit. There's some speculation. I don't know if it's speculations or allegations that we're going to listen to audio that they were on mushrooms. That was like one random tip. I can't say it's verified or whatever. And then in the interview, which you're going to watch with the lawyer, he mentioned too something about substances. And maybe, well, let me do this. Let me show you guys what the area looked like first on the map. Hopefully it works here. There we go. Okay. So let me show you guys the image real quick. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting like and sharing. And Dre Latina, thank you. Please recorrect time and date of this live. Needs correction again. I don't know. I saw it with the right time and date. You guys can tell me. I think that's why there's like 200 people here. I'm not sure. But this is from the Daily Mail. So this is where his body was found, which is really weird. I have a couple things to show you guys because I'm going to show you some drone video. I'm going to show you a little bit what the area looked like. This is where they're alleging he was found. And this is I think this is a high school right here. Let me show you guys something else. And we'll show you the distance too. Show you that. So this is the father's home. And body was found all the way over here, which this location is close to where the people he left with, that mother and the son. The son's 17 years old. And for some reason, I can't get a 3D view of this, but I mean, it's very flat because they were saying, is the other thing. Initially, they were saying, or their preliminary reports say that the way he passed away was from drowning. They said this kid actually drowned, and that didn't make sense to a lot of people. It doesn't make sense to me. Let me read you the preliminary reports. A preliminary autopsy report released by the parish coroner on Friday said that Quawan's death was drowning, citing muddy water found in his airways and hyperinflated lungs. In the report, the coroner attributed the scratches and the wounds to Quawan's face to aquatic animal activity, which I'm going to open up the lines so that people want to call in, but I'm kind of curious what kind of aquatic life out there would do that to his face. Now, if you guys haven't seen or know, his face was released by his parents, by his mother, and it was put on the GoFundMe. So if you go to the GoFundMe, it's very, very graphic. People are comparing it to Emmett Till. Emmett Till is, I don't know too much of the story. I've read about it once on Wikipedia, but it's a historic thing where this kid walked into a store. A black kid walked into a store, and they alleged supposedly that he either whistled at the white woman or something like that. The kid was found deceased, and I mean, what they did to him was horrible, horrendous. And his face, it was very notable because his mother, I think it was his mother, decided to put it for the world to see. You know, it was a very shocking image at the time, but I think she felt she needed to do that to kind of for people not to brush over and realize how serious the incident was. So when you take a look at this picture of Charles is like Charles's last name, Quawan, it looks kind of reminiscent. It looks reminiscent, eerily almost similar. Now, here's some other notes that I have. So they ruled that the death showed evidence of drowning, finding water in his lungs. The coroner also indicated that the damage to his face came from aquatic animals, and his body didn't show any injuries that came before his death. The preliminary manner of death was pending, finding autopsy results, toxicology, and law enforcement investigation. So here's another bit of thing that's kind of interesting. The coroner's preliminary autopsy report had said at the time there is no evidence, and this is their findings, the coroner, but the family does have independent coroners, so we're going to see what comes up with that. But I want to present to you guys all the information, what they're saying. You got to know, what everybody's saying. So at this time, there's no evidence of ante-mortem trauma, meaning pre-death injury. Any cuts on his face were made as part of the autopsy, and other damage was probably caused by aquatic animals, which I'm still wondering what kind of aquatic animals would be in this area. I don't know if anybody can call from the area. If this is what they're claiming, let's see what they're claiming and, what kind of animal would do that. I don't know what's in that area. And so from the lawyer, just to give their side too, lawyer says his body was brutalized. His lips are almost non-existent. There's a laceration on his forehead, which I did see. His entire face is disfigured. He said the family took the picture of Quawan's body to raise awareness about his suspicious death. The toxicology report is still pending, so they're doing a toxicology report. The family's lawyers said in a statement Saturday evening that they did not authorize the preliminary autopsy report to be released to the media before they had told extended family the results. The lawyers, there's 4 names, also said the family was requesting to meet with Romero no later than Monday. And an independent autopsy is being conducted by the American Forensics of Mesquite, Texas. I'm not going to put the photo. The photo is too graphic. YouTube will shut it down, or Facebook. You can go to GoFundMe. Oh, by the way, thank you, Rhonda, for the super chat. You can go to the GoFundMe page and you can see the face. It's very, very graphic. They're not showing it on TV or anywhere else. Let me show you guys this video of the area. And for people that are just joining, the quick synopsis of things, if you don't know the story, you joined in a little late. Quawan vanished from his family's home October 30th. On November 3rd, his mutilated body was found near a sugarcane field. The teen's death and disappearance has sparked speculation about racial crime, so it's a very controversial topic. The teen's death and disappearance has sparked I just read that. Sheriff Tommy Romero called it an active homicide investigation. He said footage shows Charles, who was black, alone near where he was found. The teen had been picked up by Janet and Gavin Irvin. This is the mother and the son. Supposedly they were friends. We're going to get into that. We're just warming up. This is the very beginning, but we're going to get into that. And Gavin claims Quawan came to their trailer. They live in a trailer home, but then left on his own on October 30th. The coroner said Friday, drowning appears to be the most likely cause of death. So, of course, I could understand the family upset with that. Who's going to accept that, especially when you see your child's face like that, but let me show you a little bit. So what you guys are going to see right now, let me show you on the map real quick. This is the school. Let me zoom it in a little bit. That's the school right there. This is where Quawan was supposedly found. This is like a park area. They say that the water there is like 2 feet, maybe. It's like how can somebody drown there? Let's play this. Show you a little aerial view. This is that whole thing you see on the map right there. Supposedly that's like marsh. I think I have a better video too, actually. See, that's the football field right there. I'm gonna I have another video that's a little bit closer and has a better video. But it's a very open area too. I mean, I'm going to be opening up calls though, so you guys can call in. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Why did the cop say he's probably at a football game and then found him not far from the ball field? Oh, I don't know. I feel like there's bits and pieces that was not mentioned. Let's see. By the way, it was also stated that the father was racist. We're talking about the father of the. You're talking about, because we want to be clear. You're talking about the father of Gavin, the child, like the 17-year-old, and the mother Janet, like their family, the family he went to go stay with. Let me show you another quick video. I think this one's a little bit better. And then read off this again real quick. So yes, the police, when they called on October 30th, the police assured the parents that he was probably at a football game or with friends. I'm assuming maybe this is the football thing they were talking about. That's kind of a little bit of the overview. I mean, I don't know how your body was found. They're literally saying, according to the Daily Mail, this is where the body was found. If the Daily Mail could be wrong, but they said the body was found right around here. This is supposed to be like a sugarcane field. I wish I could see closer. I don't know if that's correct, but that's just weird. Like, how do you drown there? I don't know. Now, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do, I want to show you a couple things. This video too shows a little bit of the area. So I'm gonna play this. You guys can see the area more.
Answers after the death of her youngest child, and we spoke to Ron Haley, the attorney for the family, and he says the family just wants justice at this time.
For the family to not have, the answers of how is extremely troubling.
Haley tells me Quawan Charles left his father's house on October 30th around 3 o'clock. His mother called his phone later that afternoon, but wasn't able to reach him. They reported him missing to the Baldwin Police Department.
According to the family, they did not feel that law enforcement officials took their pleas serious enough, given the fact they had a missing child.
Days later, they found his body near Loreauville off Ed Broussard Road. His body had undergone serious trauma.
Hopefully we elevate this issue in his case enough that those who were responsible for his death will be held accountable. But an arrest is not enough. They are looking for a conviction for anyone that had anything to do with his murder and cover-up.
The Loreauville community is also seeking justice with the family. Jason Nett, resident of Loreauville, says this is heartbreaking for the community.
My heart and everybody's heart in Loreauville, and you can believe the younger crowd is being involved about it too. We all are looking out for the family in Baldwin. We all have love for the family in Baldwin.
Do they have to
and we all send our respects to the family in Baldwin.
Catherine Bro, Public Affairs Director for the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office, says they have spoken with family and this is an ongoing investigation.
This is a priority with the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office, and we also want them to know and to understand that our investigators deal in facts and not rumors and speculation. So please be patient with us. This is the top of our priority list, but that an investigation does take time.
Now, Catherine Bro tells me that the autopsy is being conducted at this time, and the results can take up to 6 to 8 weeks to come in Lafayette.
So we're just hearing the preliminary reports of the autopsy. By the way, if you want the GoFundMe, I don't want to link it here because I don't know if they're doing something. It's very graphic, but if you type in Quawan Charles, it's the first thing that pops up, and you're going to see the graphic image. The goal for the GoFundMe was $15,000, and they've raised $260,000. So, yeah. Let me show you this too. Let's see here. Let's see. And I was wondering about the Amber Alert. What exactly is the protocol? And if it's not sufficient or good enough, can we get it changed? I mean, I think the full autopsy is definitely going to be, the results are going to be important. And I think the independent results are going to be important too. Let me play this clip. I titled it Quawan, Police Say He Drowned. Let me see here.
We want to break down the hashtag Justice for Quawan, which has been trending after a missing boy in Louisiana turned up burnt and dead in a field. He was last seen about 2 weeks ago, leaving his home with a friend and the friend's mother. They were both white. His body shows clear signs of trauma. Police are concerned, or people are concerned as well, but police told the family that he drowned and now are begging the friend's mother.
That's what it looks like. I mean, I guess it's kind of good to see the close-up to the area. I mean, I don't know how somebody... That's what the area looks like.
Or people are concerned as well, but police told...
And there's a whole nother aspect. We're still in the very... We're just getting into this. And I'd say keep it a little bit of an open mind, because I just kind of wonder too, with the claims of like the family was doing mushrooms and all this stuff. I just wonder if there was anything in his system, you know, not saying that he would intentionally do that or take that, but I just wonder, you know, and you'll know what I'm talking about in a minute if you haven't heard it yet.
The family that he drowned and now are begging the friend's mother to explain what's going on as people try to figure out why police refused to issue an Amber Alert.
According to the family, they did not feel that law enforcement officials took their pleas serious enough, given the fact they had a missing child. For the family to not have, the answers of how is extremely troubling.
Images of his body are being shared around. We are choosing not to show them as they are incredibly graphic, but many are seeing striking similarities between those images and images of Emmett Till, who was lynched back in 1955.
And let me get into, let's do this too before we get into the meat and potatoes, because I think the interview is interesting. I'll probably play for you the tipster, but let me show you the Amber Alert. Supposedly this is them claiming how the system works, which they say it's a very specific set of requirements. And when I listened to this clip, it didn't sound specific to me. It sounded very vague. You know what I'm saying? Check this out.
Well, since Kwanzaa,
maybe we need to make a change on this stuff too. After the fact, after this whole thing gets, if there's any resolution to this, maybe we need to make a change on this.
Disappearance on October 30th, many are questioning why an Amber Alert was not issued for him. Louisiana State Police tell us they weren't notified about the case, and it's an agency's decision if the missing person meets the criteria for an Amber Alert. Among the criteria, officers must believe the missing person is in danger and have specific information about the alleged abductor and their vehicle. Specific information.
A child 17 or under. I honestly feel too like once somebody goes missing and it's a teenager, and this is actually be something really interesting to talk with that private investigator about. But it just feels like when I was doing some research the other day and I was looking up other missing kids in my area, a lot of these missing kids that I looked up, there's nothing about them. There's just missing at this point. They were never in the news. Nobody ever mentioned them. What's even worse, there was this 11-year-old currently still missing. I was taking notes, but I don't know if I lost it. Yeah, I might have lost it. Yeah, I'll leave it alone. It would be nice to bring her up since she was kind of forgotten, but all right. There was another little girl too that she went missing recently. If I can find it, I'm going to mention her name at least. And they didn't even know what clothes she was last in. And there's like only one picture, and it's kind of makes you like wonder, like, what's up with the family? Like, you don't have any other pictures. You're not going to say anything for your missing child. It's been like days. I'm gonna find a name. Want to find a name? Let me play this for you guys.
Officers must believe the missing person is in danger and have specific information about the alleged abductor and their vehicle.
Premise behind it is send it out with very detailed information. As people are around, driving around, walking around, they see a car that fits the description, they call 911, report it in. Not just a general search for a missing person. A lot of people misunderstand what that Amber Alert is. It's very, very specific criteria that it needs to meet.
If there's enough information about the child, abductor, or vehicle to believe an immediate broadcast will help. I don't know. So they didn't do the Amber Alert situation. Now, I want to play this audio. Let me do something real quick because I don't want this to show on screen. Okay. Not this part. We're going to get to this in a minute. So this is supposedly a tipster that called in. And I'm going to play this.
You want me to call you?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is somebody that's on the phone calling, speaking to Quawan's mother, Roxanne, and stating this about the family that he was with, that he was last seen with.
Hi, my name is.
Okay.
My son is. I don't know what you want to say. Or was friends with. I don't think she's not friends with him after all this too.
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, he saw yesterday, and he couldn't stick to the same story, but he did say whenever they picked up your son, him and his mother, and the stepdad were all tripping. They did some mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Those ones that are poisonous or whatever, they make you trip out or whatever.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
Well, they were all on mushrooms, not your son. I'm talking about they were.
Okay.
Well, I told my son, he said, when we got there, he left. He said, oh, well, then he don't know anybody. So, he kept changing his story. Well, and then the mother came picked up, and my son went to get in her car, but it smelled strong like bleach.
Oh,
like bleach?
Said,
Wow.
You can't smoke in the car.
Let me take that back a little bit. You guys can listen again. My computer's freezing. I gotta get this issue fixed. Dre Latina, thank you. The parents and/or parents of his friends are legally responsible if they're under the care. They must interview the friend's parents. I don't know if they did or not, but that's what I was thinking, right? Like, if you just take somebody's kids over your house and something happens, aren't you kind of like responsible? I mean, unless what they're saying is true, that he supposedly left after. I don't know.
Oh. My son, she said, you can't smoke in the car because we bleached it.
Bleached it.
oh,
And then from what I could understand, he told my son that they found your son's body in a sugarcane field behind their house.
oh,
So it's like they bleached the core because they used the core to go hide the body, your son.
oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So and it's eating me alive.
So what's your son
killing
name?
me.
What's your son name?
My son
Is-
Yes, ma'am. He doesn't live over there, but he came to me today because it was eating him up, you know.
What's your son's last name? How you spell that?
Is that it? That was it. Let me play you guys this interview, which I thought was really interesting. This NBC interview. This one I'll show you.
Quawan Charles was a quiet 15-year-old from South Louisiana. His family, which I'm told is huge, describes him as funny. They say he loved his dog and to fish. But on October 30th, Bobby, as they call him.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that caller as 100%. Yeah, I really caution people with that. But it's something that they should look into, the police, and investigate, and whether it's legitimate or not.
Him did what a lot of teenagers do. He left his dad's house without permission along with a friend.
That's a good question, Shauna.
His parents wouldn't lay eyes on him again for days after law enforcement would find him dead. Quawan's death is gaining national attention because his family shared a photo of his unrecognizable face beside a photo of Emmett Till. Now, NBCLX is not going to show it. I've seen it, so you don't have to, and just know it's disturbing, and that doesn't even really accurately describe it. Community members are frustrated and confused, calling his death a lynching. I spoke with one of the attorneys representing Quawan's family, Chase Trishelle, who wants to know, where's the outrage?
I wanted to ask you, Quawan's name is not one that we see on Twitter as much as we're used to seeing when things like this happen. So for people who don't know, can you talk to me about what you know about what happened to him before his body was found?
What we do know is that Bobby was reported missing on October 30th. Okay. No Amber Alert was issued. The police, from what we can tell.
The dad said his door was locked from the inside. That's kind of an interesting thing you say that. It does say here from the New York Times. I'm sorry to pause it, but it does say here from the New York Times that on October 30th, when the mother planned to take Quawan she was going to pick him up for a haircut at 3 p.m., but he didn't answer the phone. And when he hadn't responded by 7 p.m., his parents began to worry his father, because they lived separately, forced the door down to his bedroom. So that would imply that it's locked, and realized he was missing, and called the Baldwin police. And his parents didn't know that he left either, obviously. So I wonder, I don't know, was he sneaking out? What was the whole situation with that?
Doing our own investigation is that very little was done. We know the cell phone wasn't pinged until
it froze for a second.
November 2nd. And that's how they ultimately located his body in a neighboring parish, not until November 3rd. So we had 4 days between the missing persons report and the actual discovery of the body. We know that Bobby was last seen with a woman and her 17-year-old son. This family is not well known to Roxanne Nelson. Roxanne is Bobby's mom.
This is a lawyer of the family, by the way.
We do think Bobby and this young man had a some level of relationship. We don't know how close. He wasn't a stranger. We do know that.
So Bobby, his family, Quawan's family calls him Bobby. So we're talking about the same person. But so his family did not know this person, and he was picked up by someone close to his age and his mother.
Correct. And look, it's all a little bit mysterious and nebulous, and that's kind of why it's been frustrating for the family, because they've been asking law enforcement, can you tell us leads? Can you tell us suspects? Can you tell us why no arrest has been made? It's been 13 days since Bobby was reported missing, and we're exactly where we were 13 days ago. No cause of death. They have not released the autopsy report. They have not released the preliminary results, at least.
This was before. We now know the preliminary results. This was before. Ken Dravel said, and I'm going to open the lines if people want to call in, give their thoughts, their opinions. Ken Dravel said, my thing is, why wasn't nothing done about them taking him without his parents' permission? I don't know. He seemed like I think he went willingly. I don't know.
I think that's a cause of death. None of this has been made public, and it hasn't been told to the family either.
What are you worried happened? What are we worried that this is racially motivated? Like, what is the core of this story that we're missing?
Interesting. I haven't heard that, but interesting.
The last person he was seen with was a white woman and a white 17-year-old. There have been allegations from the community that family uses illicit drugs. So we have plenty of questions. We don't have a lot of answers. It's not the position of the family at this point that we know it was racially motivated or that it's a hate crime, but it has all the trappings of that sort of murder.
It's kind of interesting too. If you're listening between the lines, I'm just opening up the conversation because I don't have to just have one way of thinking. I'm just questioning things, and it's like the way of talking. He was talking about how they knew each other. I don't know, and he said they're not saying, or it could be was it hate crime, racist crime, or what do they call those things? I don't even know what they call it. I forgot.
We don't have a lot of answers. It's not the position of the family at this point that we know it was racially motivated or that it's a hate crime.
Racially motivated or that's a hate crime. They're not saying. Honestly, I don't focus too much on the race stuff. Not on this channel anyway. And there's a lot of channels doing that. I'm just interested about the details because saying it's racism or whatever doesn't give us the answer. We need to get the actual details of what happened, what's going on. And I definitely want, justice for the kid and truth of what happened.
But it has all the trappings of that sort of murder. And if you put all the circumstantial evidence together, it leads to the question of why was he killed? And then there's a separate issue, of course, why didn't the police take it more seriously? Compare that with the JonBenet Ramsey case, the JonBenet effect. And it makes you question, do authorities take certain missing children cases more important than others? Do they prioritize certain kids over other kids?
That's a really good question. And we've covered a lot of stories on here. I mean, I can tell you from when I did a little research the other day and I was looking at missing kids, there's all sorts of missing kids, all different colors. But I sometimes think too, some of this comes down to like wealth and money, right? And some of the stories, I even think of Veronica Reyes-Diaz, I think notoriety. I don't know. Maybe you could bring it down to that too, but I never got into this story too much, JonBenet. But I know this was huge. They're still talking about this today. There was like movies made. This
is more important than others. Do they prioritize certain kids over other kids?
And so so people
Bobby had been white, would they have looked for him harder? That's the refrain from the family. Does it matter that he's black to law enforcement? And then was he killed because he's black? They're not saying that necessarily that's what happened, but they like to know if that's what happened. And since they're getting no answer from law enforcement, it's making the situation exponentially more frustrating.
And that's what I was going to ask you, because most of our audience is most likely not old enough to remember JonBenet Ramsey. So that's what I was going to ask you. Basically, the way people remember that is authorities moved hell and high water to find her. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Bobby Charles is a 15-year-old black kid from rural Louisiana. Where's the outrage? Where's the national news? Where's the police? Where's the FBI? Where are the feds? We've got Baldwin PD, which I heard a story from a reporter today. They might have 10 cops in that entire department.
Bobby was given a dog by this kid, Gavin kid. Gavin is the friend of his 17-year-old, according to Bobby's dad. And allegedly on Bobby's laptop, the boys met on a dating site. It's an interesting, so it's a rumor, but it's an interesting aspect. If you could send me anything, email me something that I can pull up and see. Let me just take 1 second to bring up this little girl, because I brought up, I didn't bring her. I was researching her. I was up late the other night, and it's amazing to me that this little girl is getting no attention at all. Oh, this is a boy. So many missing kids. There's a bunch of missing kids. Let me just show this real quick, 2 seconds. There's nothing on this girl. 11-year-old that went missing recently. Just a quick sidetrack. When was this? November 9th, updated. There's no information on her. There's no pictures, nothing.
The big ones just got big.
11-year-old Raina Burton was last seen on the address 1800 Block, Center Avenue, which in the city's Hill District neighborhood on noon Thursday. The girl is described as 4 feet 8 inches tall and 90 pounds with short brown hair. A clothing description was not available because they didn't know. I guess there's nothing. Police said she was known to frequent Allegheny Commons Rhine Court. I just want to plug that in real quick. That's like the one picture of her. She has a TikTok, and that's it. There's nothing. No media coverage, nothing. Nobody cares. And apparently it looks like not even the parents care, if I'm going to keep it blunt and 100 with you. That's all they're going to have. Let me keep it moving.
It makes you wonder, why, where's the attention? Where are the resources? Why didn't they find the kid before 4 days later? You know, and I think the most frustrating thing is for Roxanne and Selena and the family is, if they had taken it seriously on October 30th, would he be alive on October 30th? Would he be alive on November 3rd?
Talk to me about the family, because it's hard to imagine going through something like goes into fight. But when you talk to them, when there are no cameras around, no people around, how are they?
I don't even know that they've been able to process yet what happened to Bobby. You know, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect between that photograph and then the Bobby they knew, because his body is so unrecognizable. I don't know how long it will take to grieve this. I also know that the only thing that might help is getting some answers. The constant refrain from the family is, we want justice, we want answers. And I think your analogy to the fight or flight is good, because there is a lot of fight in this family.
I guess I wonder, for someone who looks at these all of the time, what detail was it about it that made you so outraged that you were like, I can't not be involved?
The photograph that is being censored. And I'm not saying that as a pejorative to the media. I understand why the photograph is not being shared widely on like local outlets and TV stations, and I understand why they're not airing it. However, since we've heard the Emmett Till comparison so often, Mamie Till in 1955 made sure that he had an open casket, and she was quoted as saying, "I wanted the world to see what they did to my baby." So, and Mamie Till's intimations are exactly how I felt. When I saw that photograph, I thought, this is a modern day 1955 Southern United States race-related murder.
I wonder, before I let you go here, what your message is, because, as a white person, you can speak power and privilege into a situation for a Black family, right? So I wonder, for people in these situations who don't know how to feel, or who say, we need more evidence, or, whatever people may say about these situations, how do you communicate to people why this is a big deal right now?
I'm happy that you noticed that and brought that up. And of the 4 attorneys working this case, you have 3 Black men and me. Okay, so it's not that we're I'm not the only man on the team, first and foremost. However, you're absolutely right. Speaking privilege into a situation is something that I'm intimately aware of, especially in the community that we're in. So part of my role, I guess the Martin Luther King comment is, in the end, it's not going to be the words of your enemies you'll remember, it's the silence of your friends. So the reason I'm saying that is because I want people who look like me to see me, a white man in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, who's working civil rights cases, and saying, hey, y'all, we're all together in this. Let's do this together. You don't have to be on that side of the fence to support this issue. You don't have to be Black to understand that what happened to Bobby Charles isn't okay. whether it's racially motivated or whether he's murdered, whether it was an accident and they moved the body, don't you want to know that? Don't you want there not to be another Bobby Charles, white, black, or any other race? I don't want to be trite and be corny and say this is, we're all part of the human race. But I think until white people start standing up too, it's going to be hard for other people to get on board. It's almost like, take some leadership. Civil rights is not racial. Civil rights is for everybody.
So that was that aspect. The interesting thing from that, I thought, was that he was mentioning about the family that he stayed with, potentially being on substances. Tori said, why did the police let these pack up and leave? It is what I want to know. I think they're being monitored, but there's a lot of people that are outraged, and people, like many people now watching, without even getting all the details, they're ready to jump and kill somebody. That's not how we got to get all the information and facts. And I think this story is going to be developing. And so I'm sure they're probably worried about their safety or whatever. That's the only thing I can think of. The only conclusion. Nowadays, people will come to your house, a lot of crazy people out there. Let me see here. So here, let me play this clip too about the claims of the aquatic animals, what they're saying. I wanted to read this part here too. Okay. So the Baldwin police, when the mother reported to the Baldwin police on October 30th, the family attorney says the cops gave no indication that they were actively looking for him. And I believe that. I believe they didn't take it seriously and instead suggested that he might have just gone to a football game. They've spoken about that. According to the family, they discovered on their own that Quawan had been picked up on the day of his disappearance by a 17-year-old white friend and his mother, which I guess that, how news articles, they have to throw the race thing in there, but I guess whatever, if they believe it's racially motivated. But Quawan's family claims it does not know that his family, Quawan's family claims it does not know this family. So they're claiming they don't know that family. Though I swear I thought the lawyer said they were like friends or something. I don't know. These are all things that are going to come out and probably have to be established. The family reportedly confirmed they picked up Quawan because the kids wanted to go hang out, but say Quawan later left alone. That's what the other family is saying. Okay. Now, so let me do the aquatic animals thing, which I really am kind of curious.
Calls for justice over the death of a black teenager who was found dead in a sugarcane field in rural Louisiana. Authorities there say 15-year-old Quawan Charles likely drowned, and they're treating the case as a possible homicide. We want to warn you now.
And when we say hate crime, what are we talking about? By the way, let me open up the lines real quick because I think I've gone through most of the story, so I'm going to look over details. Let me set up the line real quick. I'll call in because I think this is kind of a hot discussion. People can call in, give their thoughts, their theories, or whatever you want to talk about in the situation. I definitely think they should obviously monitor the family and keep an eye on them, while the things are coming out and being revealed about this story. Let's do that. Start. Really horrible situation, though. I can't imagine. You're just like finding your child like that. If you saw that, if you go see the image, just warning you, it's graphic if you're going to go watch it. I can't put the image up here, but it's just, I couldn't even imagine. Let's see, taking this thing. There we go.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your show number and press pound.
What else?
Enter your 6-digit PIN number. Welcome, host. You are now in the
Let me
host
play this
room and
clip.
can manage your callers from the call-in studio
the
web
details
interface.
may be difficult to hear, and ABC's Elwin Lopez has more.
Numbers up if you guys want to call in. 954-787-3009.
This morning, outrage spilling over the small town of Baldwin, Louisiana, as the death of a 15-year-old boy remains shrouded in mystery.
We believe that if he had been of a different color, that this has been taken a lot more seriously.
Quawan Bobby Charles went missing from his home October 30th. Days later, his body was found about 20 miles away in a sugarcane field in Iberia Parish.
It takes time for some of this evidence to come forward because it takes a while for toxicology to come back.
The local sheriff's department releasing new details to address public outrage, now calling it an active, ongoing homicide investigation, adding that video evidence shows Quawan alone near the area where he was later found dead. The case catching the eye of celebrities like Beyonce, paying tribute to him on her website. Over the weekend, a preliminary autopsy report listed the teen's cause of death as,
Is she in the
quote,
chat?
likely
There's
drowning.
2 calls.
The 15-year-old's cousin says Charles's severely disfigured face tells a different.
All right, let's start taking calls because there's 3 people calling in, so the phone lines are getting hot. If there's somebody from that's related, somebody said Miss Selena Charles, call in. She's related to him. You let me know the area code so I can take it priority if somebody wants to call in. Let me take this one first. 914, how you doing? Where you calling from? What's your name?
Hola. Yes, Doctora Latina. Hi,
Hey,
how
Dre
are
Latina, how you doing?
Fine. No, listen, just 2-3 quick things. Number one, legally the parents picked this kid up. I don't care if the kid was 17 and 11, 12 months. They are legally responsible. They are what we call in loco parentis. They're in the place of the parents legally. So the first thing, forget whether it's racial or not, these folks that picked him up, they must, number one, be interviewed. Number two, they have to be held responsible legally. That's number one. Number two, I did look at the photograph. I mean, obviously, I haven't seen all the autopsy pictures, but I'm sorry, but I guess there's 2 things I want to say based on what the evidence is that I could see and what you read to us. Number one, if you look at the forehead of the kid, I mean, I'm a physician. I don't know if you know that, iCkEdMeL, but I am a physician, and I've seen a lot of this stuff, unfortunately. If you look at the top of the forehead, there is a laceration that looks like it's been a couple of days old. This is not a new laceration. It's at least 4, 5, 6 days old. And then there's another straight line laceration. It doesn't look like
right across his forehead, right? Well, there's another thing right across his forehead, yeah.
Yep. So that does not, to me, look like some sort of freaking, aquatic animal. So that's number two. Number three, I can't tell by the neck what happened, if there's evidence of a lynching or not. But, the bottom line also is that the autopsy apparently reveals that he had water in his lungs, which means that when he, quote, quote, drowned, that means that he was still alive, you see? And so then he breathed in and he took in the aspirated water and it went into his lungs. So dude was not dead and then placed there, but he may have been indeed beaten, who knows what, and then he was shoved into the water. And as you probably already know, since you're a dad, a baby or a child or an adult can die in 2 inches of water. So, the water piece doesn't bother me, but it bothers me that this young lad obviously was alive and he took in breath and he breathed in water. So, there's a lot that we don't know here.
Right. It's still the very beginning.
Wanted to say. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate the call.
Okay, thank you, Maddie.
Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, she makes some good points. Let me take 281. We'll be flying through the numbers. 281, how you doing? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Selena Charles.
Hi. Are you related to the family? I've heard people mentioning something about that.
Yes, I'm actually his first cousin.
Oh, okay. Wow. Well, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. And sorry for you guys' loss.
Thank you. I pretty much kind of agree with the last caller.
Right. I mean, how's the whole situation been for you guys? I mean, did you ever meet this family? Did you know about this family? Do you know if the family knew this family that he went to go hang out with or stay at, or that picked him up?
The family didn't know him or his mother. You know, he
Okay.
did go to school with Quawan, but like my aunt didn't know those people, and Kenny didn't know him either.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you know anything or not. I mean, I just seen speculation in the chat, and I've also seen the attorney mention that maybe it could be like a hate crime or something like that. I mean, I don't know if it's inappropriate, but like, I mean, it seems like people are hinting that he was dating the guy or something. I don't know. It's really kind of far out there, but I'm just wondering if maybe he was targeted for anything like that. I don't know.
I mean, if you did you see the picture?
I saw the picture. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So then you see that hate is like written all over his face then.
Right.
Yeah, and they're saying that, well, the autopsy is saying that he's possibly been ate by an animal or whatever.
Right.
But Quawan had no other bite, like he had no bite marks on him. He had no bite marks on his body. He had no bite marks on his face. So, I mean, and just to be reminded, Ditch is the same person that actually did the autopsy on Victor White.
Victor White. I don't think I know that. Victor White.
It was a black man from New Iberia who was handcuffed. With his hands was handcuffed behind his back, and supposedly he shot himself in the chest.
Oh wow.
Which is impossible for you to shoot yourself in the chest with your hands handcuffed behind your back.
So the family, I read too that they do have like a independent, somebody else doing an autopsy.
Yeah.
Independent autopsy being conducted, by American Forensics. Is there any thoughts or just anything you want to say to people out there? I mean, or any just feelings about this whole situation, or any insight you can give us?
Actually, I mean, from looking at the picture, there's nothing that will tell me any different besides Quawan has been tortured and beaten.
Okay.
His face looks horrible.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the call. Again, sorry for you guys' loss. I hope you guys get justice. That's the most important thing, finding out what happened and holding the people accountable for finding, what went on.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Appreciate her calling in. I wasn't expecting that, so I didn't even know what to ask. And I don't even know if she knows firsthand information. I don't want to be disrespectful or anything either. 769. Let me take that. How you doing? Where you calling from? What's your name?
Hi, Hawaii.
Hawaii. Wow. Welcome.
Thank you. My idea of what happened by the information told, if you look at his face, it's like burnt by the eye and it's pulled up by the mouth. It means, what is he looking at and who is he talking to? Maybe it was a burn and then they pushed his head in some kind of water, maybe even at the tub at their household, which was supposed to be a trailer home. Maybe they drowned him there and then dumped him in a sugar cane, because why is he meeting a boy on a dating site? You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it's not racist still,
right,
but at the same time, it could be like sexual involvement. And somebody I can't tell you what news results, but I seen somebody said that he only talks to white guys. Why would he look like that? Barely can read and only deal with white guys in the middle of the South with Black Lives Matter and all this lynching.
You said, wait, hold on. You said a whole lot. You said a whole lot. You said he only talks to where are you getting all this information from? As far as the whole dating thing,
I seen it on the news somewhere. When I seen his face like that, I started looking it up. I didn't write it down or anything.
Okay.
But I seen it on news results when I'm saying this.
Okay.
But I mean, they said he only hangs with white guys. And why would the police say that he's probably at a football game? And look how close he is to the football field. Why is the two cities over and they can't just call each other if it's only 10 cops?
Right.
I mean, it's just so much. I mean, I'm praying for the little boy's family. I mean, this is heartbreaking. When I see that face, I mean, my whole heart stopped. I mean, that is just unbelievable. But you have a great day.
Thank you. You too. I appreciate the call. Oh, she just hung up. Dropped all that and just hung up. I'm trying to look into the things that she was saying. The only reason I think it's kind of important to kind of, I wouldn't take it as fact, but to at least look into and maybe investigate is to find possible motives. I don't think you can just stop at one thing and that's it, case over. Let me take the next caller where I look through this. I'm trying to see if there's any news talking about that. 618. How you doing? Where you calling from? Who is this? Hello? 618. Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
You're live. Yeah, what do you want to...
I was just wanting to know why was the caller, the tipster, why didn't she call the police?
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
On the mom.
Yeah.
And it was something else, but I just lost my thought. I don't know what it was now. But, well, I can't think right now, but I was just wondering about the tipster.
The sister?
Yeah. The tipster.
Oh, tipster. I was going to say. Okay.
Yes. Okay, well, that's all
All right,
I wanted
thank
to
you.
say.
Appreciate the
Thank
call.
you.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm kind of trying to do a little research right now online to see if there's any other information that, let me just put a full screen, with regards to the things that people are talking about as far as, I'm looking at Yahoo right now. I think I have a couple more clips to show you guys, but if anybody knows the alleged dating thing, send me a link if you can. This Yahoo website actually has a lot of information, but I don't know. Let me play another clip. Oh, okay. So, as you can imagine, yeah, people are out there on the ground protesting. We play some of this clip too. People in the community getting active and involved.
This morning, outrage spilling over the small town of Baldwin, Louisiana, as the death of a 15-year-old boy remains shrouded in mystery.
We believe that if he had been of a different color, that this has been taken a lot more seriously.
Quawan Bobby Charles went missing from his home October 30th. Days later, his body was found about 20 miles away in a sugarcane field in Iberia Parish.
It takes time for some of this evidence to come forward because it takes a while for toxicology to come back.
The local sheriff's department releasing new details to address public outrage, now calling it an active, ongoing homicide investigation, adding that video evidence shows Quawan alone near the area where he was later found dead. The case catching the eye of celebrities like Beyonce.
Interracial dating is We're gonna have to look into this. I don't know. I keep hearing these little, or not hearing, seeing these little rumors of dating or whatever. And it's interesting that the other person mentioned that he was like into white guys, and now somebody. No, I don't know. It's weird. Let me take this caller. Next caller here. Was he sexually assaulted? Yeah, his face, man, it was his mouth looked like it was I don't know what that is. Hi, how you doing? Where you calling from? 618. You're kind of breaking up. You might. No, I can't. You're severely breaking up. You might want to try calling back. Okay, she hung up. 54 keys. Let me take this next caller. 443. How you doing? Where you calling from?
I'm calling from Baltimore.
Baltimore. Hey, welcome.
Thank you. I had this one question. If mom called at 3 o'clock, why would he wait 4 hours later to check his room?
That's a good question. Yeah, the NY Times said here Quan's mother had planned to pick him up from the father's home for a haircut at 3 p.m., but he didn't answer his phone. According to Mr. Haley, when he hadn't responded by 7 p.m., his parents began to worry. His father forced down his locked bedroom door. I don't know. It's a good question. I think there's a lot of details to this whole story and situation that we don't know about that I think may come out. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah. And it was his dad, his biological dad. Because I saw something on the TV that his dad was Caucasian. The father that he was saying was Caucasian.
Who was Caucasian? Whose father?
The dad that he called. I don't know if he wasn't with his mother, right? He was with his dad.
Are we talking about Quan or the other guy, Gavin?
Quan's dad.
Quan's dad. Oh, they're saying he's white or something?
I saw something. I forgot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Why would you wait 4 hours to check the room? Why would you go while she was on the phone? Like, let me check and see if he's in the house. You wait 4 hours to check the bedroom.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a good question. All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. Bobby's stepdad is white. That's what they're saying. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks. There's another caller. Oops. Yeah, they're saying I don't know the stuff I was about. That's why the whole race thing, you could just go all over the place and get lost into it. And I don't know that it's really going to solve our issue or whatever. But, we can sit here all day and talk about, whatever. But there's definitely more to the story. Whether that's involved in it or not, there's more to the story. 618, how you doing? Where you calling from? Stepdad is Caucasian. Hello?
Illinois.
Illinois? Hi, who is this?
Yep. Sylvia.
Sylvia?
Yes.
Okay, welcome. What's your thoughts on this whole situation and the story going on?
What I wanted to ask was, how did the tipster get the mom's number?
That's a good question too.
I had called just a little bit ago, and
oh yeah, we had trouble, I think.
Yeah, but that's the other question I wanted to ask. How did the tipster get his mom's number to be able to call?
Thank
That's
you.
all I wanted to ask.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a good question too. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. That's a good question too. Who knows? Things could be planted in. Call up saying anything, we don't know. Christina, homophobia, racial motivation, beating, and the body being eaten. What exactly is out there? Does anybody know in the chat what kind of animals are out there that they're talking about? Aquatic animals probably got to him, and that's why he is how he is. Like, what is out there? Let me where's this place here? Loreauville. Let me see something real quick. I don't know if there's Louisiana animals. I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Animals in the area. Is there something like a guide to what animals you gotta out for? I don't see anything. Here's a Wikipedia page. Culture. I mean, if they're going to say they believe it was an aquatic animal, why don't they give us a couple of names of what it could have been? Or do they need a full autopsy? Right? Because then if they give us what type of animals, then maybe experts or professionals can kind of put it together, whether it makes sense or no sense at all. Gators? Is there gators out there? Louisiana has crocs. Oh, okay. That did kind of pop up in my head, but it's happened over here. I remember there was a story of one lady that was like jogging or something. And I guess they move fast. They run fast. That's a good thought there too, though. Meek, the full-time drawing, said alligators would have done more. Yeah, I would think so too. I have let's see, we got two other clips. TMZ, one of the lawyers went on TMZ Let me see how.
Correct. I know we cannot show it on television, but when you see,
I don't even want to play this on the screen. I'll let you guys hear the audio. I don't want TMZ trying to take this.
This is a horrific situation, and you're correct. I know we cannot show it on television, but when you see his mangled body, it does not look like he's drowned. And I also want to give context to where he was found at. He was found
Piranhas?
at
I don't know.
sugarcane
I don't think so.
Out in Iberia Parish.
They're saying
Louisiana.
ankle high water.
In that sugarcane field, the bodies of water only amount to about 1 to 2 feet.
1 to 2 feet.
The idea that he went for a swim in a creek or a river and somehow turned up like this, that doesn't cut the mustard. As an attorney, I don't believe in the art of speculation. I believe in the art of fact. That's why when we were not getting the answers that the family deserved, we immediately commissioned an independent autopsy. I spoke with the good folks at American Forensics, and they have told me that I will have that report by the weekend.
Have the police, the sheriff's department out there, have they said anything to the family about this family that apparently had picked up Quawan, unbeknownst to his parents, had picked him up for a play date to go hang out with some other kids without Quawan's family's knowledge? What have they said to that other family? What is that family saying about what happened when Quawan got to their house?
They're not saying much of anything. The stories our private investigators who have spoken with them, they're hazy at best. What they told does not cut the mustard of anything that makes sense, stating the fact that at some point while Quawan was in their custody, he left and just never came back. If that's the case, why the hell they didn't call the police? Why in the hell didn't they call his parents? But we do know that family has packed up and left.
Has there been an official autopsy where the medical examiner has...
What do you guys think about the family leaving, the other family that was in this situation? I mean, I would be pissed too, man. I think they should go for all angles, the family, and go all angles, explore everything. Take every angle with whatever you think it is, go through everyone and explore it and rule out either one or. The family definitely, the one he was last with, I mean, of course, they need to be looked into, tracked. I really wouldn't tell people, advise people not to go and like hurt people or anything like that. But definitely they need to keep, I mean, it's always the last person you were with is probably a suspect. What actually happened? Let me take 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. How you doing? We're calling from. Is that Jason?
Yo.
I knew it. I sensed it. I just knew your area code. What's up, man? How you doing? What's your thoughts on this whole situation, man?
Bro. All right. So first and foremost, happy belated birthday to the queen of the town.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Maddie and her brand new car. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I like that, man.
Thanks,
I really
like
that. You know what I mean? And to say that, to bring it to this, my guy, my daughter, 18 years old, let her go 15 minutes without me hearing from her when she out and about. Like, 3 hours? You're not going to get 3 hours without Pop hollering at you, first of all. You understand? Now the biggest reason I call, bro, is, all right, so if we don't call this a hate crime, let's not split each other based on hate. I don't do the white, black. You know what I mean? Like, I do the rich or poor. You understand what I'm saying? And, like, it's sad what happened to this young man, but, like, right now I don't have enough evidence to say. I don't know if it was a hate crime, bro. Like, he could have just been killed because he was killed. You understand what I'm saying? I just don't like the division that I was seeing in your chat. You know, what people saying, you know, black, white, black this. You understand what I mean?
Right.
But most importantly, as parents, we need to be held responsible. My daughter's homegirls, I know everything about their family. You ain't about to pick my kid up and I don't know you. My kid ain't sneaking out no window. Like, so it's, to me, bro, it's deeper than what we know. And I just don't want us to be further divided by cases like this. Now, one thing that you mentioned, Emmett Till was a little boy from Chicago. He went down south to see his people. He went into a store and allegedly whistled at a woman, but come to find out, that was all a lie. They disrespected that young man. So one thing I didn't do that a lot of y'all did, and you know, shout out to y'all. I can't go look at no pictures of no baby, bro. Like that'll mess my whole year up if I saw the photos y'all saw. But God bless that young man. God bless the legacy of Emmett Till. Instead of us being divisive and divided on our color, let's just come together and stop all these babies from getting messed over like they get messed over. I feel like as a community, if we just watched our children, a lot of this wouldn't happen. It's too long of a gap, bro. You got a whole Lord of the Rings movie playing and you don't know where your kid is. You feel me? Like how you don't know where your kid is for 3 hours, bro? Let my daughter be missing for 12 minutes and the city is on fire. You understand? Shout out to Maddie. Peace and blessings to your platform. Let's love each other. Black, white, Spanish, whatever, bro. And let's start communicating and uniting as communities where we watch our children so predators can't take advantage of them. And I mean, you know, I'm in my feelings, bro. I'm sorry, you know, I don't want to judge anybody, but there's no way a child should be MIA for that long. Peace and blessings to you, fam.
All right, thanks, man. Take care. Appreciate your call, Jason.
Love.
All right, bro.
Yep.
It's a difficult situation, man. Let me just say before there's one more caller, so let me take the next caller. But like I said, I don't have a teenager, so I don't know what it's like raising a teenager. I just have a toddler. You know what I'm saying? But you know, kids these days, especially like at 15, you feel you're grown. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder about the time thing. And like I said, I think there's a lot more to the story that we don't know. That's why I think people should try to keep an open mind with this and let the information keep coming in. I'm not saying that you shouldn't press. I think the family is doing the right thing as far as pressing and trying to get media attention by whatever means. That's what you need to do because the media and the internet, they move on so quick like that, you know. And so this one's starting to gain traction. I think Beyonce posted a picture or tweeted something out. But I mean, teenagers, you know, it's really hard to say. And his face, I mean, I don't even know how you could describe it. It's just horrible. And it is comparable to Emmett Till, you know. Let me take this caller here, 786. How you doing? Where you calling from?
Hi, good evening. I'm calling from Miami, Florida.
Hey, Miami. What's up? Welcome.
Yes, thanks for having me. Okay, so I've been following this story also, and when I first heard about it and I saw the images and everything, and I was like, wow, another child. It's so sad, another child. And then I look at the pictures and I'm like, it does, you know, resembles Emmett Till. But then I go deep into the story about how, you know, how it's supposed to have started and how it ended. It doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. And I'm a mother. I have a 15-year-old daughter and I have a 2-year-old daughter. And the moment my 15-year-old daughter get in her feelings and act like she want to walk out the door or, you know, do some crazy shit, I'm up and watching and looking like where the hell you going? And then when I don't see her in my eyesight, I'm calling the police immediately. So them not checking on their child, you know, for 3 hours or more, that's ridiculous. Like, you're supposed to stay up on your kids. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing about him going with somebody that they don't really know like that, that's a big problem. That's a big problem.
Yeah, and there should also be sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, just real quick too. It also be a cautionary tale because I know a lot of these parents like to pick up these kids and just take them to their house and all this stuff too, and let kids stay. It is a liability. I don't think people should take it as light as some people might, you know.
Exactly. That's why I feel like the parents, the mother, she seems like she's more sincere about this situation, but it's something about this stepfather I'm not really feeling it because the stepfather is like, he's not really doing too much talking. When you see him on the media, his head is down. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's talking a little sideways. Like, I feel like he know more. I just don't know. Now I have a feeling like it's a speculation that maybe he know the white people that supposedly had picked up the little boy. Maybe he was messing with the mother. Maybe he knows somebody who, you know what I'm saying? We don't know.
Right.
We don't know. But the thing is, why is this boy body looking so discombobulated like this? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and this is my first time hearing about him messing around with little boys like of another color. I never knew he was into, messing with little boys, but that's something to also look into. Like, why is he just hanging around Spanish boys?
Well, they said white, but that's all speculation and rumor because I haven't seen anything confirmed. But people are saying something about a dating website, and but yeah.
Right, me either. I haven't seen anything about it. This is my first time, so yeah, I've been following the story, and I appreciate you, covering this story. But we really have to stick together as parents, as a community. We as parents, we are responsible. We are responsible, and we have to hold ourselves responsible, and we have to make sure these kids, you know what I'm saying, is on point on what they doing, who they going with, where they going, how long they gonna be. Somebody has to watch over them because they're not grown, and 15-year-olds already feel like they're grown. So when they step out the house, ain't no telling where the hell they go.
So this guy, I pulled him up on the screen. I don't know if I saw him before, and I might not have been paying attention, but this is supposedly the stepfather or the father. Let's see here, Jason Nelson, father.
Like he's mixed. He look like he's mixed.
Okay, he's white to me, but yeah, Jason Nelson, father.
Right, and I don't even think that's his real father.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because the mother's name is Roxanne Nelson, and so his name is Jason Nelson.
Right.
So
okay, so they married.
Just to dispel that in the chat. Thank you, Dre Latino.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the call.
All right. Thank you. So good night.
All right. Good night. That's what I'm saying. I think there's like a lot we don't know yet. And that's why I really don't think I know I understand it. Like the climate right now is kind of crazy. Everything that's going on in the world and the protests and the race stuff and whatever. But we also got to make sure, to really get justice is to get the truth and look at all the information, really try to before coming to a conclusion. Let me see here. We were just looking at this. I think this is the vigil. I must have not been paying attention.
With a friend and his friend's mom.
I want the lady that can't get my son without my permission and his dad's permission to be held accountable.
That's right.
Cena's saying he was not gay. No dating website. So that's to the rumors that people were saying. And I haven't seen anything about that. There's nothing I found online. I looked on Facebook, looked on Google, nothing. Multiple people were saying that. I don't know if there's a lot of times too, there's Facebook groups. And so the Facebook groups, they get a lot of rumors and whatever. And so I haven't heard that. But then I was wondering when the lawyer mentioned hate crime, maybe if they had anything. But hate crime could be anything, I guess. Ignoring race won't make racists go away. Cajun white, what's the difference? Yeah.
You cannot just take somebody's son, bring him to your house, and not be held accountable for them because he was in her custody. So now he's dead. He left here alive and well, and now he's dead when he went to Loreauville to her house.
He was found dead under mysterious circumstances, and we just want justice for him, and we just want a thorough and honest investigation with Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department.
In Baldwin, Katie.
Does anybody have any more interviews of this guy, Jason guy? Is that the only one? He could just be, I don't know, nervous and stuff. I don't know, but it's just interesting to see what he has to say, because he was at this guy's house when this whole situation happened. Just kind of looking back and backtracking a little bit. Because he's at his house and he didn't realize he wasn't even home because he had to force the door open. Teenagers stay in their rooms with the door locked. So maybe he just thought he was in there, but
he was found dead under mysterious circumstances, and we just want justice for him, and we just want a thorough and honest investigation with Iberia Parish Sheriff's Department.
In Baldwin, Katie Easter, KTC TV3.
I don't know. I didn't. The only reason I said that was because I was reading the comments, but in my notes, which was what I was referencing, I don't think I saw anything about dating. Or let me just look over it real quick to be sure, because then I can give you a reference. No. Nope. Yeah, no, I was just repeating what somebody was saying in the chat, that it was a rumor. Okay. Let me take this call. Just looking at notes. We got more callers. 225, how you doing? Where you calling from?
Hello, I'm calling from. My name is Kiana. I'm calling.
Thanks,
I'm
Lisa.
from Liberia, but I'm calling from Port Arthur.
Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Port Arthur, Texas.
Oh, Texas. Okay, thanks for calling.
I'm calling regarding to the comments that I keep on seeing about them blaming the parents. At the end of the day, I lost my kids, so I know what that personal guilt feel like alone. And when I was 15 and I'd be mad, my grandparents would come in the room and check on me. They'll let me be mad and be done with it. So they're already going through enough personal guilt thinking about what they could have did to save their child, let alone people blaming them for not checking on them. The moral of the story is, if Baldwin police would have did their job, it wouldn't probably be all this anyway. The police is to blame because they didn't do their job.
And what is it that you feel the police didn't do? Because there was a couple of things, like the Amber Alert thing. They said they didn't issue an Amber Alert.
Yes,
And,
exactly.
Okay.
How could you tell somebody whose child been missing? How could you tell them, he probably just at a football game? Those parents don't want to hear that. Y'all have a job to do, and that's to protect these kids. So and they didn't do their job. They dropped the ball, and that's the whole point of the situation. That's what I was calling to say.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. So here's an interesting thing. And this is just a forum that I'm reading, because I did hear some people mention this. And there's a lot of forums and stuff on the internet going on. Can you clarify, Mel, whom the child was staying with? So Janet Irvine, a mom, and Gavin, 17, showed up at the house to pick up Quawan. I don't know if it's at the house, but they picked him up. They picked him up because he wanted supposedly to hang out. And so, I mean, it's kind of weird too. Like, if they picked them up, right? If they picked them up and they drove, we looked at the map. I think it's like a 20-mile distance, right? If they picked them up, here's something else that doesn't make sense if we really want to talk about it. We pull up the map. I believe where he was found dead wasn't too far from this family's house. But if you're going to pick him up and I guess drive back to the trailer or whatever it is, why wouldn't you drop him back off? Why would you just, I mean, did he say he was going somewhere? He's going to go somewhere else. Why would you not take him back? He stayed with bio dad, not mom and stepdad. Okay, see? More confusion. Thank you. Bio dad. Okay. He stayed with bio dad, not mom. What? You stayed with bio dad, not mom and stepdad. I could be wrong. I'm sick of this show with speculations like y'all was on scene. So that's an interesting thing to think about. And like, oh yeah, let me take this call here. 281. Sorry, I had you on hold for a second. How you doing? Where you calling from?
This is Selena. I'm calling because the whole story is full of lies. Like, y'all don't even have the facts.
Wait, who is this?
He was saying this is Selena, his first cousin.
Oh, okay. Hey, welcome back.
Yes, I'm calling back because y'all whole little story is just y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even know the facts. Y'all going off of what you see on the internet. He was at his biological father. That's where he was living at.
Okay.
His mom and his stepfather are married. They live together.
So Jason Nelson is the stepfather.
Jason Nelson is Roxanne Nelson's husband,
Okay.
which is Quawan's stepfather.
Okay.
Jason Nelson is not white. He is black.
The article, the video we just watched, they said
Quawan
his name
living
was.
with his dad. Quawan was not gay. Quawan was not gay.
But the
Quawan
video.
was living with his dad. Quawan was picked up from his dad's house by Janet Irving and her son.
And we just want justice.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Can I ask you this?
Yes.
From Cat C ABC3, they say that this guy's name is Jason Nelson, and Jason Nelson father, right? And he's white, right?
He is not white. He is black.
Oh, this guy's black. Oh, okay.
He's black.
Oh, okay. Oh, let me show the screen for people can see. So he's not white. Okay. Okay. And what? So the dating website thing too. So hold on. Let me back up 1 second, just so we can make sure we have the information right here. Roxanne Nelson is the mother, obviously. Jason Nelson is the stepfather. They live together. They're married.
Which is Roxanne. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And what's Quan's biological father's name?
It's Kenneth Jacko.
Oh, okay. So that's where he was when he went missing. When he went to protect the room.
Kenneth Jacko house.
Okay. All right.
And I have a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old. I don't watch them all day. I don't have to watch them all day. They're 14 and 16-year-old. They go in their room. If I'm in the house with them, I'm sure many of these people on here probably have 14 and 16-year-olds as well, or even older. They don't go in those kids' room and watch them all day to see what they're doing in their room.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. What about the other stuff too? Like the timeline? Because all the information, see if you can show my notes here. All the information is article resourced. I was confused, so thank you for clearing up. Jason Nelson is a stepfather.
Yeah.
And I think there's confusion in the chat too, because people were saying he's black, he's white. And
all the questions that you need to ask now, because I'm sick of these people calling in and you giving them the wrong information, and I'm sick of them calling in and giving the wrong information.
So
if there's anything that you don't know, you can ask right now.
What wrong information am I giving?
This whole story is worthless.
How's the story worthless?
Because the things that you're saying, they're not factual.
So all these are lies here. All these references, the New York Times, the Daily Mail. Let's see what else there. Newsbreak, Fox 32, Chicago.
Just not too long ago, you said that he was living with Jason.
Well, yeah, I had that wrong. I confused that. That's the only thing I confused. Yeah.
Then also about the dating website.
Well, that I didn't say. Like, somebody in the comment mentioned that, and somebody called in, and
that's what I said. I said you and people that are calling in, and it's all speculations. It's lies.
Right, and I said
they
that.
Act like they was on the scene. And now one of them was on the scene, because if they was on the scene or you was on the scene, guess what? This case will be solved.
If who was on the scene, what?
This case will be solved. So y'all all going off of assumptions and speculations.
Okay. Oh, thank you for calling.
You're welcome.
I guess she's upset. I'm just trying to be polite and stuff like that. The only thing that was somewhat or incorrect was the Jason Nelson, which I didn't even bring that up. I was talking about the mother and the father. But so people are clear. Roxanne Nelson and Jason Nelson, stepfather. This is why I don't get sucked into the race thing either. We could be here all day. To me, he looks white, but people are saying he's not white, so we could be here all day long about whatever. But besides the little mistake, which is not even the point of the story, the fact is he was at a father's house, his biological father's house, not the stepfather's house. Okay, the one little mistake, biological and stepfather. All the information here is correct with at least 5-6 different references, multiple websites and news clips. So if all the news clips made it up and that's all a lie, and all the media made it up and that's a lie, then I don't know what to tell you. I knew it was gonna be a little crazy this stream, but oh, thanks. I appreciate it, guys. I think she got offended with the whole dating website thing, which I know I can understand, but I stated it multiple times. I even looked online to double check to see if I could find that. And when the person called in, I was like, where are you getting your information from? You know, it's a live stream. People are just going to call in. I can't control unless I hang up on somebody what people are going to say. How she don't when their family did a majority of the legwork. Well, that was interesting. Oh yeah, I don't understand that either. She was like, but if she had the facts, the case would be solved. She was saying that like if we were there, I think she was trying to imply that like we're trying to be investigated or something like that. She said something like if you were there, the case would be solved. But it's kind of like, I mean, not even sure what that means. Maybe that's what it was too. Yeah, maybe she was regarding with the chat. The chat is wild too. It's hard. I can't control the chat. It's like 400 people at least from what I'm seeing. The people it's the internet. People are gonna have their opinions and feel how they feel. Let me see here real quick. Oh my god, I'm frozen. I think that was all of it. I think that was it. She was giving me a compliment? Really? Who was giving me a compliment? Didn't feel like it. I don't know. She said, let me bring this back up real quick. This guy, and I think a lot of people in the chat didn't know either. I think there was some sort of kind of like confusion. People were saying he's not white, he is white, or whatever. I was like, he looks white to me. But I mean, not even just his skin color, but like his facial features or whatever. This is why I can't indulge myself into all the race stuff, because you just go nuts. That's why I don't bother with that stuff. You guys can sit there for hours and figure all that out. You know. Let's see a second. Well, I don't know. I guess that's the end of the stream. We covered everything, and we had somebody, a first cousin, which, you know, she claims to be the first cousin. I don't know. Yeah, I can't control the chat. I mean, it's whatever. That's. But I mean, I was respectful. Try to be respectful. Oh, and here's see, sometimes it's kind of interesting what the web sleuths have. The chat. I love you guys too. Brownstone said you can't tell a person's race by skin or features. I knew people were I knew it was gonna be something tonight, because as soon as you talk about anything with racial or whatever, people go crazy. Okay, so here's the dog situation. He didn't talk too much. Charles said he was always quiet. He liked to fish. He loved to ride his four-wheeler. He had a dog he was in love with. We did talk about the dog. That's true. I did mention the dog thing. Bobby purchased the pit bull, which he affectionately called my baby. A few years ago, from the same 17-year-old that he was seen with that day. Okay. Charles said they've also questioned if a robbery could have happened could have been a factor after a detective told them a large amount of cash was discovered on the body. So this is somebody called in and stated that. Oh no, I think it was the comment. It would not be unusual for a teen to have 200 or 300 cash, according to Charles, who said he often saved his allowance. Let me see real quick. So they gave their source, theadvocate.com. I don't know what that is, but you just check it real quick. Okay, let's check out this article. This is kind of interesting, and let's read it. Let's see what they have to say. I appreciate you guys joining, especially the members and the people that are subscribers. You know, when we do these topics, it's going to be a broad amount of people that come in and join, people that aren't usually here. So if you wouldn't mind hitting like and subscribe, I appreciate it. Oh, and by the way, like, just before we get into this, I don't willy-nilly my videos. I spend hours putting things together, okay, with sources and links and everything. I'm not just haphazardly videos, pictures, images, all right? But, okay. Let's see. So Bobby left his father's Baldwin home without permission on the afternoon of October 30th with a 17-year-old friend and his friend's mother, according to the family spokesperson. The family said they reported him missing later that night after attempts to reach Bobby's phone were unsuccessful. His body was discovered by officers in a wooded area in Loreauville, if that's how you pronounce it, November 3rd. We spoke about that. The family says Bobby's father, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. The family says Bobby's father was notified that night, but his mother wasn't notified. What? Hold on. The family says Bobby's father was notified that night, but his mother wasn't notified until the next day. Okay. About the body. They say their questions have gone largely unanswered in the days since. It's almost as though if they try to sweep on this under the rug. Let me skip forward a little bit to what they were talking about in the post. Family said they were told Bobby was found face down in a creek near a sugarcane field, but they're seeking an independent autopsy. All things we've mentioned. I want to see where they mentioned the whole dog thing on this post here. Okay. Here's some other details that I haven't heard. Okay, here we go. My bad, because I haven't pulled this article open yet. The sheriff's office regularly receives alerts from other agencies about missing persons cases, but not always. Bobby had not lived in the town of Baldwin in St. Mary Parish for long. He moved there recently after getting involved with the wrong crowd in his hometown of Youngsville and Lafayette Parish, according to his family. Bobby's remembered to be a quiet teen, I did say that, who struggled academically in part because of his dyslexia. I sometimes think I have that too, but I'm not sure. I'm horrible at reading. He started the year at Southside High School in Youngsville, but had just begun classes in West St. Mary High School. He didn't talk much to people, Charles said. He was always quiet. He liked to fish. He loved to ride his four-wheeler. He had a dog that he was in love with. So that's a dog part that people were talking about. And the media gets it wrong sometimes too. So it's not that the media can't get it wrong, but Bobby purchased a pit bull, which he affectionately called my baby a few years ago. from the same 17-year-old he was seen with the day he went missing. The older teen and his mother are white, like most Bobby's friends, Charles said. So that's kind of interesting too. Maybe that one caller that called in, that's what they were talking about. Which to me, all this stuff is trivial. All this like whatever, but this is the climate that people are in. Everything's race, so you got to give them what they're asking for. Quawan trusted his friend of another race, Charles. Quawan trusted his friend of another race. Charles said it was somebody he thought he could trust, and he's not here today. Charles said his family believes race was a factor in Bobby's death. Charles said they've also questioned if a robbery could have been a factor after detectives told them they found a large amount of cash and the body was discovered. So, I think the calls dropped. There is one person on the line. I think that's Jason. Is that Jason or somebody's calling? Let me get back on the line. It is interesting to read this. To at least we know where some people are getting some of their things. It's not just out of thin air. There's actual articles and documentation. Not that necessarily means it's true either, though. But
you've reached 917.
Oh shit! I think I called the wrong number. What am I calling over here? My bad. I think that was Stephanie.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line. Please enter your 6-digit PIN number.
All right, let me
Welcome,
take this call.
host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
321. Thank you for holding. Who is this? Where you come from? I'll take it. 321. 321. Are you there? Hello? Hello? I think I hear you in the background. I think we lost the person. Hello? All right, we're hang up. You have to call back. Sorry. So let me finish reading this. You the cop. It would be unusual for a teen to have $200 or $300 in cash. Who said he often saved for his allowance? It would not be unusual. Who said he often saved for his allowance and was frugal with his money? Thank you for the super chat. So that's where the whole dog thing comes from. And I mean, I don't know if it's true or not that they state there was stuff found in his body, supposedly in his pocket when he was found. Okay. So, oh, by the way, I meant to do this too. Do this real quick. Lisa, thank you for the PayPal earlier today. And somebody just sent me something now too. Tawana, thank you. Appreciate it. Oh, wow. Drill Latina, thank you so much too. I appreciate that. Am I looking at that right? Hold on 1 second. Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. If whoever that was that called, if you want to call back, you can. I'm just kind of reading some of the speculation and stuff here, the rumors. I've never heard of this article before, theadvocate.com. Kind of interesting. The other thing too that I did want to mention real quick too in the notes that I had. Supposedly they did gather evidence from the home he was at. I read it somewhere. I'm trying to find it. There's too many notes. They say here too, from according to Newsbreak. Well, this was ABC News. They said that the sheriff's office said it also conducted several interviews with and is actively tracking the whereabouts of the people who were reportedly with Charles right before his disappearance. They have also collected evidence from those people's homes. So I wonder what they took from there. They also say here, and this is from ABC News, investigators have additionally interviewed people who may have interacted with Charles before his death, as well as at least one eyewitness who reportedly saw him in the area where he was found. So I'm curious and anxious about that too. Again, with the autopsy reports, these are preliminary reports that we got. So there's still more that's going to come out. And then there's also the independent autopsy report. This is, to me, this is still the very surface in the beginning. You know, a couple of people asked me to cover this story. And so hopefully we can bring a little bit of attention to this and keep eyes on it, and other people in the media will too, because I think initially when the story came out, it didn't seem like it was getting that much attention, and now it's kind of blowing up. And maybe it was because the mother released the picture of him. I did read something too about a curfew, and I don't know. It's just interesting. But yeah, I guess we're done with the live stream. Unless anybody, oh, we do have a caller. Let me take the caller. Oh, the same caller. 321. Hopefully it's working now. 321, how you doing? Where are you calling from? Can't hear you. Let me refresh this. Maybe it's something in my part. It says the call dropped. 321. No.
Yo, can you hear me now?
Oh my God. There we go. What happened, man?
Hey, I don't know, man. I'm ice cream right now, bro. I just wanted to call back, man. Listen, bro, what you do for us as a community is you give us information. And one thing that I know about you personally, bro, the research that you put in, man, it's monstrous. You understand? So I understand how the caller felt and what she was saying, but don't come at my man like he just off the cuff went live. The one time you went live off the cuff, it was horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you do research, you take notes, man. And like the cool thing about your community is we all come in here, and even if we disagree, it's all love, because all we trying to do is save these babies, bro. So when I saw your face, man, I don't want you to ever feel sad about what you do, man, because your actions, bro, it's like it made me better. And I see people in your chat, and they better for what you do. And a lot of times, even though we can't solve these issues, the fact that we discuss them the way we do gives us solace. You understand what I mean? So, bro, Please don't ever feel disrespected by somebody that comes at you from the left, because you are always right, even when you might not be. You understand? So,
I appreciate it, bro. Thank you, man.
Bro,
thank you
bro, you know, I hate to bother you. I just like I don't know how anybody looks at your platform and don't see anything but love, bro. And you know what I always end with is what I began with. Shout out to the woman that created this platform, and that's Maddie. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the chat, love and blessings. Take care of your kids. Stay to yourself and quarantine. You feel me? Shout out to you, bro.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate it, dude. All right. Cheers, man. Yeah, thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. I honestly, when I'm doing the live streams and the shows, there's so much going on. There's so much on my screen, all these notes, videos, and things that I'm not too sure what I said an hour ago, but I know I don't just willy-nilly stuff. But it's an open conversation too, and people are welcome. It's the internet. Anybody's going to come in and join and say how they want to talk or feel. And I also understand too, people are upset. The family's upset. So, I mean, I don't take it personal. It's all right. It's all good. You know. But even the recent article that I just read to you guys too, it was confirming some of the things people were talking about. The dating thing, I mentioned that multiple times, unconfirmed, and I always try to say that if it's just speculation. So, and she said that wasn't true. So, but yeah, we gotta talk about things. We're not just. What's the point of having an open conversation if we're just gonna sit here and not say anything? We're just gonna. If I'm just going to pull up an article and just read the article to you, and then that's it. No open conversation, no calls, nothing. We can't discuss nothing. That's it. You know, like what kind of thing is that? I don't know if I have one more caller. I think my screen is kind of messing up. Let me try to refresh. Oh, I think that's it. Okay. I'm going to close the lines. I think we did good. Let me see if there's any other notes. I hope they get justice, man. They need to figure this out. I think it's gotten a lot of attention. I think people are looking, and I'm pretty sure more details are going to come out about this mess. Hopefully this doesn't go cold, and I think maybe they should release that video supposedly where they claim he was by himself. Let's see it then. You know. But yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Can you go back to the description of his body when he was found? Oh. No, I don't like new people. Trust me, before I came on tonight, I knew it was going to be kind of like a little, probably potentially a little wild, you know. Anytime like the topic matter or something like this, it's going to be controversial. I mean, it's a controversial topic, so of course people are going to call in, disagree, whatever. The description of how his body was found. Well, according to this one thing, I mean, I have my notes here too, but according to, let's see, this one article here stated, well, I lost the article that gave a little bit more details. It was from the Web Sleuth, so I got it right here. Yeah, I could just look at my notes. The one article we just had up, it stated his face was down. There's a picture. He was face down when he was found. There's a picture on the GoFundMe of what he looked like. They stated he was found in a sugarcane field, mutilated. They state that they believe it was aquatic animals that did it, which I was wondering what kind of animals are out there. If that's what they claim, let's take a look at the claim and see if it's even plausible, because then they can push and challenge other things. But they stated here too, according to the Ibra Parishioner Coroner's Office, which there's another independent autopsy being done, and this is just preliminary. They ruled his death, that his death was showed, oh my God, the coroner ruled that his death showed evidence of a drowning, finding water in his lungs. The one other article said mud too. I mean, I took a couple of different notes. The coroner also indicated that damage to Quan's face came from aquatic animals, and his body didn't show any injuries that came before his death. This is what they're claiming. I know people are going to rage. I'm just reading what they claim. The preliminary manner of death was pending final autopsy results, toxicology, which I said the toxicology thing is going to be interesting because people are claiming that other family that he was at was on shrooms, if that's even true. But even the lawyer, if you saw the lawyer interview, the lawyer made some sort of allegation about that. It also states here from the Daily Mail, the coroner's preliminary autopsy report had said at this time there is no evidence of antemortem trauma, meaning pre-death injury. Any cuts on his face were made as part of the autopsy, and other damage was probably caused by aquatic animals. So we're going to find out. I mean, I think it's going to be really important to see what the other autopsy results bring. They also did mention that, I had a note here somewhere. They mentioned that the final results of the autopsy could change the preliminary findings. I don't know where I put it, but I know for sure 100% I read that somewhere. Yeah, somewhere I read it. So let's see what the chat is saying. Absolutely, car was bleached. I don't know. That's what that caller alleged. Well, thank you guys for joining tonight. It was a little crazy. If you guys wouldn't mind subscribing, I'll definitely be following the story. We'll see what comes up of it. And tomorrow I have two things planned. I'm supposed to be meeting with a private investigator on another different story. I might I don't know if I'm going to meet with him or we're just going to do an online thing, and then we might be interviewing somebody else, a father. So looks like the chat's kind of wild. Looks like Burns to me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Expressively, Yana, thank you for subscribing. Google aquatic animals of Louisiana. Can we do that? Aquatic animals of Louisiana. Oops. There's a long list here of things I'm not even sure I could fully pronounce. But let me show you guys. I guess they're going to have to prove aquatic animals of Louisiana. Kopu, amphibians, alligators, crayfish, Pearl River, map turtle. Can you guys even see? Oh, no, I forgot. I thought you guys could see what I was looking at. My bad. Oh, they're just giving me alligators in general. I don't know. I was figuring if somebody's into that kind of stuff, they could have called in and let us know. Thanks, Stacy. I appreciate you, Stacy, holding it down. Sorry, but I couldn't see what was going on Facebook. I was almost wondering if I needed to block somebody. I have the screen up now that I can block people, but I wasn't able to keep what was going on. I'm going to look after and see. People are thinking it's acid burns. Let me look at the picture again. It is kind of interesting. I don't know. I never thought about that. It does kind of almost look like the skin was like burnt away or something. I think, I mean, hopefully, I think police should release that supposed footage that where he's alone. Who? Block her. She being nasty. Oh boy. I'm going to get some calls after this stream. Oh my God, you believe that happened? They are doing a second autopsy. And that's the whole thing too, where people were talking about earlier, like checking on your kids all the time. I don't know if that's really a thing for teenagers. I mean, maybe some people do. I'm a helicopter parent myself. I don't have a teenager, but I mean, when I was a teenager, I was just going out doing whatever. I mean, I'd check in, I would call and stuff like that, but it wasn't like every 30 minutes check in where you're at, but and at the end of the day, we just want to find out who did this, if that's what it is. Will the family and attorneys block the release of those videos? If not, we can all push for it. I don't know. It's a good question. Apparently the family, well, there was a whole thing where I quoted where the family didn't like that the preliminary results were released. And I'm thinking maybe it's because not everybody in the family knew. According to ABC News, the family's lawyers said in a statement Saturday evening that they did not authorize the preliminary autopsy report to be released to the media before they had told extended family the results. So supposedly extended family, they weren't told yet, so they didn't authorize it. They did it anyway, but so I don't know if they would block that or not, according to the Daily Mail, I'll show you again. We were talking about this earlier. If I can do this. I don't know why it's doing that, but having some troubles. Downloads Quawan. So I was showing these images earlier, but this is according to the Daily Mails where I got these images from. Let me show you real quick. Oh, let me get you a better, the better image. So according to the Daily Mail, I mean, the weird thing about that is just like on the side of the road, kind of. I mean, he was found in the, I guess they say the marsh thing. It's just such an open area. I don't know. That's what they're claiming. A lot of kids go missing too, man. If you haven't seen, I mean, if you've been paying attention, especially now with this whole situation with the virus stuff going on, kids are going missing all the time, every day. Amber alerts all the time are being issued. They're being issued so much that it's like, I think it's almost desensitizing, because a lot of these Amber alerts, 2-3 hours later, it's kids, teenagers that are found a couple hours later. Like they either left, they ran away temporarily, or they had some issues and they were found later on. And then sometimes it's the real situation where the kid's actually missing. I think a lot of the times, especially with teenagers, I don't think police, law enforcement take it seriously. About the family the other day that found out their loved one had passed away in the news. I thought I read, I don't know. I thought I read something in the news about that. Oh yeah, no, something popped up. I think it was on Newsbreak about a family not even knowing their person was deceased and they just found out on the news. That's crazy. Chills. Yeah, Breasia Terrell still missing. No updates. Besides, I think they increased the reward money for that. I did a live stream on that. Well, I guess I'm gonna. Oh, we did 2 hours. I think we did good tonight. Thank you guys for joining. I really appreciate it. If you guys could hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. We'll be following the story. It was a little heated tonight at one point, but I don't even think it was really fully directed at me. But I definitely have to clear up. I'm not just getting on here and hitting go live like I prepared for a couple hours. So. You can clearly tell the difference too when it's just like a willy-nilly thing, like Jason was saying earlier. It's not as good and stuff. This is where like I actually took time. But I appreciate her calling and clearing up the father thing as far as the stepdad and the biological father. Hey, that's what happens with live streams too, Linz. I'm not even live streaming isn't my strength either. It's editing, like putting a video together and editing it and like putting video clips and making it really nice. That's my strength. Live stream is actually kind of my weakness. But I kind of, like she said, I kind of like sometimes just the randomness. You don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen, So, and I'm going to screw up too. I'm going to screw up. I mean, and when there's information that's stated as from the articles as fact, that's what I'll let you guys know. I mean, not that even the news media is fact, but that's what's being reported. And then if there's rumors or allegations, I try to make sure to say like, this is a rumor, this is an allegation, and at least too, I mean, at least it's good that she called in, because maybe she didn't like people saying that and whatever, but at least she was able to clear it up. So maybe that rumor can stop then. If nothing else comes from that rumor, then you can stop the rumor, Yeah, I had a couple people ask. Thank you, Nan Taylor. All right, you guys have a good night. Thanks. Appreciate y'all.